Most people think their ability to build wealth is about how much they earn, but it's far deeper than that. Just a handful of financial numbers can determine your real ability to build wealth. Some of them are obvious, like your net worth. Others, not so much, and most people never check them, but they can make or break your ability to build lasting wealth. Number 1, your net worth. Your net worth is the clearest snapshot of your financial strength. Total everything you own, your assets, and subtract everything you owe, your liabilities. Whatever number remains, positive or negative, reflects where you stand and your ability to build wealth. Begin by listing all your assets, from your checking and saving accounts to your retirement and investment accounts. Don't forget your real estate equity and valuables, things like jewelry, watches, or even artwork. Then, list out your liabilities. This is anything from the balance still remaining on your mortgage to your student loans, credit card debt, and car loans. The gap between these totals is your net worth. It may shift as markets rise or fall, or when you make major purchases, but the long-term goal is steady upward progression. Knowing this number gives you insight into what you can borrow, how much you can spend, and when retirement might realistically be within reach. It also reveals something income alone can't. A person making $200,000 a year but spending $190,000 may be worse off than someone earning $75,000 with no debt and spending only $50,000 and investing into their retirement accounts. Remember, it's not only about how much you earn, it's also about how much you keep. Net worth is a great indicator of this. Number 2, your debt-to-income ratio. Your DTI is another key number that reveals how much of your monthly income is already allocated to debt. It's a simple way to see whether you're in control of your finances or slowly being leached by them. To calculate it, divide your total monthly debt payments by your gross monthly income. This is the money you bring in before taxes. The higher the percentage, the more pressure your debt puts on your cash flow. If your monthly debts are $2,000 and your gross monthly income is $5,000, then your DTI would be 40%. A DTI below 30% is generally considered healthy. Once it climbs past 50%, it usually signals inability to build wealth and a sign to start reducing your debt before it gets any more out of control. Consider things like high-interest credit card debt. If you're paying $500 a month in credit card debt, that's $6,000 a year lost, money that could have grown if invested instead. If your DTI is reducing your ability to increase net worth, start by locking your credit cards to prevent taking on any more debt. Then make debt repayment a priority. A high DTI makes you look risky, which can limit your access to future credit. Managing this number is essential for financial stability and long-term credit health. Number 3, your current rate of savings. Net worth shows where you stand today. Your savings rate reveals where you're actually heading. Savings rate tells you what percentage of your income you're intentionally setting aside for future goals, and it's one of the most powerful influences on your ability to build wealth. Tracking how much you save each month compared to what you earn quickly shows whether you're living within your means or quietly overspending. If your annual income is $80,000 and you save $16,000, your savings rate would be 20%. Historically, we've been advised to save at least 10% of our income. But with modern-day student loans, housing increases, and even rising cost of living, a minimum savings rate of 20% is generally recommended. If you're below that, it may be worth revisiting your budget to try and free up more room for savings. Of course, this isn't one size fits all. Your ideal rate depends on your goals, age, lifestyle, and timeline. High earners or people pursuing early retirement may save upwards of 40 to 50%, while those with tighter finances may set a lower target. Here's the part many people overlook. Your savings rate, not your income, determines how fast you build wealth. Someone earning $80,000 and saving 20% is building wealth faster than someone earning $150,000 but saving only 5%. If hitting your savings goal feels difficult, try automating transfers to your savings account and reviewing your statements to spot expenses you can reduce or eliminate. These small adjustments can dramatically improve your path toward financial stability. Number 4, your emergency fund. You can have an impressive net worth on paper and still be financially vulnerable if all your assets are tied up and hard to access. Liquidity, the ability to quickly turn assets into cash, particularly when life hits you unexpectedly, is what separates a strong capacity to build wealth from a fragile foundation. Life is unpredictable, and an emergency fund is your first line of defense against sudden shocks such as job loss, medical bills, or urgent repairs. The general guideline is to save enough to cover 3 to 6 months of living expenses, though having more can bring an added sense of stability. So if your total expenses per month are $5,000, then you should aim to save somewhere between $15,000 and $30,000. A cushion of 3 to 6 months is the standard recommendation. If your job is stable and your life is predictable, 3 months may be enough. But if your income varies, your industry is unstable, or your responsibilities tend to shift, you may need 6 months or even more. It's not just about your job, it's about the overall stability of your life. The ideal place to store this fund is a high-yield savings account. You want your emergency money to be safe, liquid, and immediately accessible. The key rule: don't invest your emergency fund and don't take risks with it. This account exists purely for protection, not profit. Number 5, the importance of the number 72. The rule of 72 is a quick way to estimate how long it will take for an investment to double in value. Simply divide 72 by your expected annual return, and you'll get the approximate number of years needed. It helps you visualize the potential growth of your wealth. The average rate of return in the stock market's history is around 10%. Factoring in 3% inflation, the real rate of return is closer to 7%. Let's say you have a 401k investment of $100,000. How long will it take to double at this rate of return? Well, divide 72 by 7% is just over a decade. You can generally expect to have around $200,000 in your account in around 10.5 years at this rate of return. This simple rule gives you a fast snapshot of how your returns compound over time, helping you make more informed long-term financial decisions. But the rule of 72 isn't just for profit. It can also show you how detrimental debt can be. A credit card with 24% APR will double your debt in about 3 years if no payments are made. A car loan at 6% interest will double in roughly 12 years without extra payments, showing how interest accrues over time. This rule shows how compound interest can work in your favor by growing your assets or against you by doubling your liabilities if you aren't aggressively paying them down. Number 6, your financial freedom number. Retirement isn't an age, it's a number. And your financial freedom number is a simple but powerful metric. Multiply your annual expenses by 25, and you'll get an estimate of how much you need invested to safely withdraw 4% each year without running out of money. It's a clear benchmark for understanding what financial independence truly requires. Now, this number is, in part, based on the 4% rule. This rule is a guideline where you'd withdraw 4% of your savings in your first year of retirement and then adjust that number for inflation annually with the aim of making your money last about 30 years. To calculate your financial freedom number, you take your annual expenses and multiply it by 25. So if you're spending $60,000 a year, then you need about $1.5 million in invested capital. At a 4% annual withdrawal rate, $1.5 million would cover those expenses and allow you to maintain your lifestyle without depleting your savings. Some experts think the 4% rule is too aggressive and they use a more conservative 3%. In that case, you take your $60,000 a year in expenses and multiply it by 33 or divide it by 0.03 to get total capital of around $1.98 million. Knowing your financial freedom number gives you clarity and confidence. It removes the vagueness of having enough money and gives you a defined saving and investment target. Number 7, cash flow. Many people get this part wrong. Your pre-tax salary isn't the same as the money you actually have available each month. Earning $4,000 doesn't mean you keep $4,000. Your real income is what remains after taxes plus your fixed and variable expenses. This number represents the extra money you have each month to put toward building wealth, whether it's savings, investing, or paying down debt. Let's say you earn $4,000 per month. You pay 24% in taxes, fixed expenses are $2,300, and variable expenses total $500. Your monthly surplus becomes $240. That $240 is what you have left to save, invest, or pay down debt. The smaller this number is, the harder it becomes to grow financially. The larger it is, the faster you can build wealth. If your cash flow is lower than you'd like, you have 2 options. You can reduce your spending or increase your income. And if your surplus is negative, it's a clear sign you're operating on debt. The higher the number, the stronger your ability to build wealth. Life constantly changes, which means your financial approach should change as well. Each of these wealth-building numbers gives you the ability to adjust as life throws change at you. Thanks so much for watching. If you learned something new today, share this video with a friend. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.